everybody, everybody. And why do when I say that, do I feel like I sound like Dr. Nick from those guys that used to watch The Simpsons? Hope everyone's having a great week so far and looking forward to the weekend. Happy Friday. It would be remiss of me if I didn't take today to wish my younger brother Neil happy birthday. Have a great day, mate. Sorry I can't be there. I'm sure Lucy will make up for it, and you have a great day. So, yeah, have a great day, mate. In terms of what I want to speak about today, I normally come on these and just kind of wing it, to be honest, to see what pops in my head. And I know that we've spoken before about employee engagement, agent engagement, all the kind of things that you factor in when you look to either create a podcast or a live stream. I guess really today what I want to speak about was consistency. And that's rich coming from me, considering I missed last week, so apologies. Why consistency? So as you go around building awareness of your podcast or your live stream, it's important that you stick to a consistent, I guess, posting or publishing plan. You can't do it until you hit the big time, until you're recognized and you're at that influencer state. You can't just kind of post when you want to post. So you've got to build it up. You've got to build your brand up. You've got to build awareness up. So that's why it's important that you have a consistent, not necessarily time, but certainly frequency in when you're posting or when you're publishing a podcast. What do I mean by that? So you can't just do it higgledy-piggledy, right? You can't just do it, well, I'll post it at the start of the month and then I might post it at the end of the month, right? It needs to be a little bit more consistent than that. My advice when it comes to launching your first podcast or your first ever podcast, let's put it like that, is try to do it weekly. Now, I know that's labor intensive, but if you're really invested and you want to share a story and you've got a message to share about, and more importantly, above and beyond that, you're passionate about what you're looking to share, then you've got to go weekly, right? You've got to go weekly. Now, it doesn't have to be the same time every week, but I would strongly suggest that you look for the same day every week. And it's absolutely fine to change that day after maybe 3 to 6 months. So trial a day, right? So for example, a couple of the podcasts that I've been involved with, we thought initially it would be good to post on a Friday, right? So we started to post initially on a Friday. What we found since is actually Monday's better for the type of podcast that we're doing, because ours is, focused on businesses. So we've seen a big uplift in our downloads since we moved to a Monday publishing schedule rather than a Friday publishing schedule, which I guess with hindsight makes sense. But this is all trial and error. So I'm not telling you which day to post, because you'll find that out for yourself. Or what I am telling you, or my advice would be consistent on the day that you're posting. Above and beyond that, I would also consider having I've got a thumbs up. Wow, I think that's the first thumbs up. Thank you for the thumbs up. So in terms of the posting strategy, we said be consistent, but then also you need a marketing strategy to back that up. All right. What do I mean by that? So you then need to create a marketing strategy that includes your hashtags, and then also make sure that you're posting with a little bit of a content about what your podcast or live stream is all about. All right. So it can't just be like one post and hoping that people are going to tune into your podcast. You've got to put some work in prior to get that marketing strategy up. All right. So some of my advice would be, look, let's maybe post 24 hours, 48 hours before your actual podcast or your live streams going live. Look, if you can, to include some type of video content or a photographic content, something like that gives an indication of what the live stream or podcast is all about, without giving too much away. It's a little bit like, like a bait, like, oh, come and listen to this. We're going to give you this snippet, but we're not going to give you it all. And then make sure that you have, again, consistent message when you come to posting, your marketing. I know I'm repetitive about the consistency, but honestly, until you get to the influencer stage, it has to be consistent. That's the only way to do it. There is no other magic formula to break through the mold, right? It has to be consistent, and you've got to do it regularly. I know it's boring. I don't unfortunately have a golden bullet. I have many silver bullets, but I don't have one golden bullet that will take you from zero to hero in a day. That's just simply not going to work. That said, the beauty about podcasting is you're not looking to speak to millions and millions and millions of people, right? That's not your end goal. What you're looking to do, whether it's from a personal perspective or from a business perspective, is you're looking to speak to your niche market. Now, your niche market may only be 1,000 people. It may only be 10,000 people, right? It may just be 10 people. But if you're speaking to those directly, let's kind of switch to a business perspective. If you're speaking to those directly and consistently, and your message is on brand, all of a sudden your company becomes the company that they want to do business with. That level of trust has gone from, let's say, there to there, because you're being consistent and you're delivering a message. Also, the beauty about podcasting is you can share insights, right? You can share stories about your company, where it's come from, people within the company, people that might be doing some wacky things to raise money for charity, or may just be wacky in general. And they also may be experts in their own field. Imagine having the power to shine the light on somebody internally that is an asset and has so much to give, yet they're not just they're in this pigeonholing work. Just imagine how much power that gives them and you and the company to say, look, listen to Paul, because Paul knows about marketing, Paul knows about sales, Paul knows about customer experience, right? So all of a sudden, you're not just talking about your company from your company perspective. You're also talking about the different departments in the company and the skills that come with them. So it just hits on so many different levels. I was very, very fortunate to be involved in a discussion earlier this week, actually, with a company that's seen the light. Hallelujah. They've seen the light in terms of the power of podcasting from an employee engagement and also a customer engagement perspective. And it was great to see, look, that they're already starting to map it out. They're planning it out. They know what they want to do. They know that they want to share their story first, which I think is exactly the right thing to do, right? You can't start a podcast from a business perspective and it's all sales. That just isn't going to fly. You need to be able to share your story in terms of where your company's come from. So just imagine how powerful it will be to this company. They're going to initially share their story first, and then they're going to slowly but surely start to introduce key people within the company that have their own specific skill sets per department. It just changes the whole dynamic in terms of how your company is seen globally, nationally, whatever, honestly, really, right? It's a game changer, in my opinion. And of course, I'd say that, but it really is a game changer in terms of what you can do and the power that the power of podcasting pop that you can use if you've done it correctly. So there is a lot of setup costs, one-off costs, I guess I should say. And there's a lot of labor intensive to start with, but then the moment you get into the swing of things do become a heck of a lot more easier, and also it becomes a bit of a joy, to be honest with you. Earlier on today, it's Friday, not today. Earlier on this week, I was very fortunate to be invited to talk to a mentor group of young professionals in the Philippines who are looking to get into a certain status in terms of their earning potential. And it was really encouraging to see them understanding how podcasting or live streaming can help increase the level of trust that they can have with their existing customers and also their potential customers. What do I mean by that? So in the environment that we're currently living with COVID, I know that there's a lot of countries now that are slowly but surely starting to open up. So great stuff. Unfortunately, there's also a lot of countries out there that aren't necessarily at the same standard as some countries. And it is what it is, right? There's no point in pointing fingers. There's no point in associating blame. It is what it is. We've just got to deal with it as best we can to make sure that we don't become, what's the word, negative, irritated about it, right? So the industry that we were talking about was insurance. And obviously insurance itself heavily relies on a layer of trust, particularly with existing clients, but also with potential customers. So during this conversation, I really focused on how podcasting and live streaming can level up the level of trust that you have in this day and age, right? Because you are consistently talking or sending a message out to your potential customers and also your existing customers. Also, you don't necessarily have to have the same podcast for existing customers as you have to have for potential customers. You may want to, it may be the same message, which is fine, which is, that's entirely up to you. But you're not necessarily limited to that. And then also you may want to look at creating a podcast purely aimed at employee experience, because that creates a heck of a lot of money in terms of outlay from a company, right, when they're consistently hiring. If you can imagine just improving employee retention or even employee engagement, right? I forget the stats now, but I think it's something like 1 in 5, 1 in 4 employees are not engaged in the company, right? Now, I'm not talking about what they are percent to target, their KPIs or anything like that. That's a different conversation. What I'm talking about here is actively engaged in what your company is all about, your brand messages, where you're going, what your 3-month plan looks like, what your 6-month plan looks like, your 12, your 18, you get the picture, right? So just imagine how powerful it is to then be able to talk to your employees on a regular basis. And it could be anybody within the company that's sharing a story. And then it could be any different type of podcast. It could be a wellness one. It could be a book club one. It could be a fitness one. It could be a cooking podcast. Honestly, not the limits, no. The possibilities, there we go, other side of the spectrum. The possibilities are endless in terms of podcasting and employee engagement. So yeah, look, I try to keep this short and sweet. I'm pretty sure you guys don't want to be bored, particularly on a Friday afternoon or a Friday morning, depending on where you are in the world. I do really appreciate the support. I really appreciate everybody reaching out and showing. Love's a too strong word, but the support and the appreciation of what I'm trying to do. So thank you so much. I will continue with this message. If you do have any podcast questions, any live streaming questions, anything that's related to that channel, please get in touch. As a special offer, what we're offering right now is a free discovery call along with your first free coaching session, providing you sign up for like a month-long program. So that would be, you'd get 5 coaching for the price of 3. So if that's something you're interested in and don't know where to start, or you've already got a podcast or a live stream up and running, and you may be stuck in a rut or something, then please get in touch. We are here to help. I've heard that there's a big game happening this weekend, right? I think it's Italy and England. Patrice Evra possibly had the funniest video of the week when he said that he didn't think England had won a major championship since since the dinosaurs were alive. Listen, it's not for me to say who isn't going to win. I will just wish both teams all the best. I hope it's a great game. I hope the fans that there create the right type of atmosphere and they're respectful for certainly the Italian anthem, and then also if the players, or when the players, I should say, want to show their support for equality, I think it's important that's recognised too. So that I'm not going to get into the political debate or anything like that. That's not my remit. That's not what I'm here to do. I'm just saying, just respect and be kind to everybody, right? Anyway, listen, podcast Paul, I've been here for what feels like 15 hours. It's only been 15 minutes, so I will draw this to a close. Now, thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget, any questions, any concerns, anything you want answered, podcast or live streaming related, get in touch. I'll just repeat the offer again. We're offering at the moment a free discovery call along with your free first coaching session, as long as you sign up for like a month-long session. So in theory, that's 5 sessions for the cost of 3. And we do have 2. Yeah, we've got 2 live stream slots at the moment on a Tuesday and a Thursday. So if you are looking to launch your own live stream and don't know how to do it, then get in touch. We have a couple of slots. Yeah, so if you want to take advantage, yeah, just do that. All right, well, listen, that's enough from me. Thank you so much for everybody listening, and I really appreciate the thumbs up. Take care. Have a great Friday. Have a wonderful weekend. If you've got any questions, anything podcast related, live streaming, please get in touch. Ultimately, we're here to help. All right, guys, take care. Have a great weekend. Thank you.